We are going to go into our final session, and it's all about harnessing resilience for excellence. This session is all about thriving in the face of adversity and using challenges as stepping stones to success. You will hear from successful professionals and entrepreneurs who have weathered storms either in their company or in their personal lives and emerged stronger on the other side. Can I please welcome our session host, Joy Omoregie, please? Founder of Edo Next Gen UK, to the stage, as well as our panelists. Come on, guys, keep clapping, keep clapping, keep clapping. Simba Rambiwa, Managing Director of Palm Love Care and The Apprentice 2023 contestant. True Powell, co-founder of CEO of Black Business Magazine. Keep clapping, keep clapping, keep clapping. And Babajala Epaga, founder of Epaga Marketing and Communications Agency. Take it away, guys.
Thank you.
Amazing. So you all can hear me, right? Yes. They said to me at the back, they're like, you better make sure that you're making a lot of noise. I was like, guaranteed, just guaranteed. So it's a pleasure to be your host, everybody. My name's Joy Omoregie. I am the founder of Edo Next Gen. It happens to be a part of Nigeria that I thought all of us that are not represented by Yoruba or Igbo or all the other big tribes, let's find ourselves. But everyone is welcome there. And then in addition to that, I also wrote the book Woke at Work, Strategies to Navigate the Workplace and Progress with Pace. And that was after 15 years of navigating the corporate world, which I'm still doing, but I learned a hell of a lot. So it's a coaching manual that's live on Amazon now. Feel free to grab a copy. Now, we are going to be hearing from these amazing men. Isn't it great to just have great black men right next to you? I mean, yes! Yes. So, as you heard, we're going to be talking about grit and growth. What it takes today in the uncertainty that is everywhere to still harness that key secret weapon, resilience, to carry on progressing. So I'm going to let each of these gentlemen introduce themselves. Just give an intro, guys, please. We've got a lot to get through. 1 minute intro. But a quick intro on just what you're doing right now, and then we'll unpack more during the questions. So over to you, Simba.
Oh, fantastic. Well, good morning, everybody. Okay.
I know.
My name is Simba, and I'm the Managing Director and co-founder of Palm Love Care Services. And we're a domiciliary care agency. We look after the ill and elderly. And I'm also on The Apprentice 2023 as well.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Babajala. I'm the founder of EMCA. I actually did sell my company, which was EMC3 recently. I work in marketing and communications, where I help clients articulate their messages to customers.
And finally, Dr. True Powell.
Good morning, everyone. It's so good to be here. I am a personal brand strategist, and I help entrepreneurs and CEOs and leaders get visible, get credibility, and build their personal brands. I'm also the CEO for the Black Business Magazine, and I'm also the CEO for the Multicultural Business and Community Champion Awards.
So I think we can safely agree that BYP does not let us down. We have fantastic men doing great things. And I want to kick off, actually, by asking, I'm going to ask each of you, but what inspired you to come out of working for somebody and move into that place of entrepreneurship? I'll start with you, Simba.
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
Actually, for me, from young, I always knew that I needed to work for myself. I think I would always get in trouble at work for various reasons, do my own thing, so therefore I had to make my own thing. And the reason why my business exists is actually from personal experience. So I run a care agency, and my mom actually required care. So I decided to harness that experience and actually make something good of it. You know, our experience of the healthcare social care system was fantastic. So I thought to myself, you know what? Let me create something, be in control of it, and actually allow others to enjoy and also have a good and positive experience towards what we experienced as a family with my mom as well. So that's why Palm Love Care exists, and we're going strong. It's fantastic.
Fantastic. Yeah, come on, you can. Yeah, we love that. So we're going to move over to you, Baba. Please let us know. What was your journey?
Oh, for me, I think 24 years ago, I started this company, EMC3, which it's EMC cubed, actually. It stands for events, marketing, creativity, communications, and conferencing. So the C cubed, I was an ex-banker, a mathematician, that's my degree, but I realized I couldn't access nightclubs. And it was it because I'm black? Or what was the problem? But I realized that some of my corporate friends in banking couldn't access the same nightclubs. So I figured maybe there's an access problem here. So I started a company that got me access to the best nightclubs at the time. I'm showing my age here, like China White and 10 Rooms, going back in the old days. And that's what inspired me, because I wanted to get in that room. And that's how I wanted to bring my people along as well. And that's what inspired me.
But where do we go? How do we go from clubbing to marketing?
I think life is marketing, the way you dress, the way you live, your style, your profile. So the marketing came as an evolution. It started with nightclubs, but then in the nightclub I met the head of Cartier, and he liked me, and he said, come and do my polo matches. And I was like, oh, I could do that. I'd never done it before, but I was like, yeah, I can do that. And he gave me a chance, and he introduced me to a company called Hackett, which was under his brand as well. And then a company called LinkedIn at the time. This was 20 years ago, who were coming to England. So I became a marketer through events and meeting people. And I think networking is marketing. It's the same difference. What's PR? What's marketing? It's human beings. And I loved humans. And that's where I came from.
I love it. And I love to summarize and make sure that it's landing. So we've had a bit of take ownership coming from Simba, really kind of took it, entered. From Baba, we're in a space where he is an innovator, but also we hear a lot, fake it till you make it. Whether you know or not, go make those connections, network, enter the place. We've seen the outcome. And now over to Dr. True Powell.
So my journey's a little bit different. I knew I was born to be an entrepreneur. And I remember at 7 years old, me and my twin brother, with identical, if you check out my Insta, you'll see. We, cheeky plug, we organised our very first talent show. And what I didn't know then was it was actually utilising all of my skills and stuff that I do today for a living. So we were platforming young talent from the inner city area of Birmingham. And I did that for a long time with an academy that I run. We were charging people on the door 50 pence to come in. Obviously, we were, exercising my entrepreneurship. And I was putting on an event, and that's what I do with the MBCC Awards. I plan and deliver events. But I guess I silenced all of that, as we do, and I done what Mummy said. Went to school, went to college, went to uni, got a job. And I knew something wasn't quite right. And I think, if I'm going to be real, the straw that broke the camel's back was when I had to clock in and out of work and my boss telling me to eat when I wasn't hungry. Like, your lunch is at 1 o'clock today. I'm like, but I'm not hungry. So I was like, I want to eat when I want to eat. I want to leave when I want to leave. I want to do what I want to do. And it just was like, I was like, all right, deuces, I'm out. I'm going to start my own thing. And the rest is history.
Just love that, love that, love that. Yes, come on. Absolutely. Absolutely. So actually, I'm going to flip to Baba now, because he explains, this career in banking and, this kind of innovation to start the club that then entered into this marketing organization that you've got right now. So that all sounds very kind of gung-ho, but could you tell us a time when you felt that the odds were actually against you, and how did you stay motivated during those times?
That's a good question. I think it was even before banking. I was 20 years old. I did come from a place of abundance, and I was very lucky. I went to the oldest school in the world, started by St. Augustine in 6th century in Canterbury, and I was classically trained as an opera singer, private jets, all this Concorde, and suddenly my mum died. My mum died. From that, I was 20 years old, and because my mum wasn't around, my father had a stroke, and he fell into a coma. And from there, he had business partners who stole everything. So I was left with my two sisters. My sisters were in university in England and one in America, and I was here. We had no money. We had no father, no mother, and we had to sort out our lives. And our dad was in a coma. So I had to react. And it was a position that I felt I had to turn adversity to advantage. And It took me some time, but I realized my mum had always said, finish your school, finish your school. And as a Nigerian man, I had to finish school. So the resilience of doing mathematical economics and Spanish at university, I got into the city, and that's where it all started, that, back against the wall. Because you start off thinking life is easy and it's lovely, and these things just crash into you. Like life, death, coma, theft. And how was I able to get across that? I think it was my spiritualism. I wouldn't lie. I'm a spiritual person, and you either meditate or you believe in God, you have faith, whichever way you find it. But that's what galvanized me, and that's what saw me through. And good friends and my sisters, boys and girls, men and women. We're on this earth for a reason, and we have to gel together. And my sisters, as we say in Nigeria, my elder sister is my egbon. She's the matriarch of the family now. And I respect that. And that's what kept me going, just buzzing with my family and friends.
So we've got family focus, which you had a lot of. And I think it's the topic that we're talking about today, resilience, just very much kind of keeping up with what needed to be done. Very, very powerful in the midst of all that adversity. So we've talked about resilience, but what does that mean to you, Simba?
I mean, just to add there to what Baba said, and I think that most entrepreneurs have a reason to why they decide to put themselves in the position that they're in, right? For me, Palm Love Care has started. I said that my mom was, ill in a care home. Similar story here, what you're talking about here. And imagine as an 8-year-old going into a care home to see your mother, right?
Sure.
That's so unusual. That's so strange. And even at school, I wouldn't even speak about my teachers, my friends. No one knew that my mom was in a care home because I thought it was so unusual. And then later on, I've just graduated university. I'm about to go into the big world, find my amazing job, and then boom, my sister passes away as well suddenly. So life will throw things at you guys, right? And I always say that life either happens because of you or to you. You have a choice. And as an entrepreneur, things have to happen because of you. You are the person that's going to drive that business. You are the person that's going to drive your career. It doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur. It doesn't matter if you're working for an organization, right? If you want to get to the top, it's going to happen because of you. Take that control. Do not allow things to happen to you. Like your manager saying, oh, you're going to eat today at 1 o'clock. No. True said, I'm not doing that. Do you get it? He took control. It's as simple as that. It's the small things, right? So life either happens because of you or to you. You have a choice. So it's being resilient. And it was challenging, right? All that bereavement, those close bereavements. And for me to overcome those things, right? It's a challenge. My dad is now raising 2 children by himself in a new country. We're Zimbabwe. We come from Zimbabwe. And it's all new. And I'm a dad now. I have a 6-month-old son. Yeah. And I know. Thank you. It's actually my wife. She's over there somewhere. She's the real queen over there looking after my son. Queen. But honestly, I know it's challenging to look after children, especially when you're first gen in a new country as well. But those challenges will come, but it's up to you to decide how you navigate those things, how flexible you're going to be, how adaptable you are going to be. And I look at you guys. There's no reason to why you guys can't overcome the challenges that you guys are facing. So that is resilience, guys. Get up. Life happens because of you, not to you, okay? So yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, go on, guys. Come on, let's do it. So actually, to the audience, I did have a question. How many of you are actually entrepreneurs right now? Like, put your hands up. Right. So how many of you are working for somebody right now? You're in a job. Be putting your hands up because there's only a middle group that doesn't know what they're doing. They're working or entrepreneur. Okay, so what I wanted to assess ultimately was who we have in the room, and it's the majority of you all are working, similar to me, and similar to what these gentlemen have been doing before. So I also want to encourage you, probably from that space of the book I wrote, etc. In that place of the workplace, you actually are your own CEO. I must say it because how you overcome the daily challenges that can be such things as being blocked in competitive teams, missing a promotion, not even knowing that there was an opportunity to be promoted, not getting pay rises, having difficulties that you feel you can't talk about. I have to say, focus. As we've heard here, it doesn't happen To you,
Life happens either. You've confused me now.
You better remember.
Life either happens because of you or to you. You make that choice, okay? And make sure it's the right choice, okay?
Okay, well, we'll stop so I can remember. So, your career, yeah, exactly, stop. Your careers happen because of you, so the dream careers happen because of you, or they happen to you, i.e. it just is what it is. So in order to have that dream career, you have to make it. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that as we go on, but I just wanted to make sure that we're balancing the message. So, to you, Mr. Powell, on the end, I just wanted to see what you found resilience meant to you in terms of learning from failure. So have you had trip-ups and failures, and how have you bounced back from that?
So, yeah, this is a tricky question because I don't see failure as losing, I see failure as winning. And if I fail at something, I fail forward. I learn from my mistakes and I implement strategies to reduce any form of failure or that type of failure happening to me again. So there's been many things that I've tried and that hasn't worked out. I remember just before lockdown, property was a big thing and everyone was talking about property, and I thought, oh, I've got a property, I'm going to turn it into a care home. And it was a care home for young kids, 16 to 18-year-olds who were getting ready to leave care. And honestly, I was looking at all these things on Instagram and I thought, yeah, this is going to make me some money, blah, blah, blah. It was one of the most hardest things I've ever done. I had that home for 6 months and then I was like, it's not for me. And I say that because I really, my heart wasn't in it. And it meant, unfortunately, I couldn't continue with that piece of work. And if your heart is not in something, it's very, very unlikely that you are going to continue and you're going to give it your all and you're going to win at that thing. And if you don't win, it's fine, you learn from it. I learned massively from it. The first thing I learned was don't be red-eye. Like, don't red-eye other people. Red-eye means copy people, if you know, for those of you who don't understand.
Thank you very much.
It's like one of my, my grandma's colloquialisms from the Caribbean. But one, don't look on Instagram and think, oh, you can copy people and you'll be rich overnight. That doesn't work. And the second thing I learned was learn from your mistakes. And that was a big thing for me. Like, what went wrong? Even though my heart wasn't in it, I had to understand what went wrong with the business, what went wrong with the finances, what went wrong with me sorting out the rooms and getting occupants, what went wrong with me having to sit there on Christmas Eve waiting for one of the kids to come home and waiting for the police. What went wrong? What went wrong? And I think that's a very, very important message. Always, always, always review what went wrong and how you can fix it for the next time.
I think that is a fantastic way to look at failure. So it's not necessarily the failure, but what's the lesson inside it so it doesn't repeat itself again. So I now have a question around calculated risks. Being an entrepreneur, we understand that risk is associated with that. Even to step out is a risk. So I'm going to go to Baba here around calculated risks. Where would you say that you've taken a bold decision and it paid off?
Gosh.
And one that didn't?
Okay, I suppose one that paid off. Entrepreneurs, it's a French word, I think. It comes from entreprendre, which means to undertake. One of the things you pick up is languages. I speak Spanish better, but the word means to undertake something at a risk, to turn it into profit. And life is a risk, of course. And to say something I took on that was a risk was, at the time I sold my company a couple of years back, EMC3, to become an advisor to other companies, not just to do events. I'm getting a bit long in years here, so I didn't want to do events all the time for customers. I wanted to advise customers how to do events. So conceptually, fashion shows, exhibitions. And I took a risk selling my majority share in my company because it was doing well. Even through the lockdown, our niche was hybrid events. So we did online streaming in California, in Lagos, Nigeria, in Abu Dhabi. And my family were like, you're nuts. Why are you selling your company at this time? And it was quite a risky thing to do because we were going up and the price I got wasn't the best price. I just wanted to spend time with my family, with my wife and my 2 kids. I wanted to walk them to work, my wife to work, but my kids to school. And I never had that time before. So I sold it at slightly a depressed price, but it was a good price. I just wanted to be liquid. And the abundance I got from walking my kids to school, they were at the time 3, 4, it was just lockdown had just finished and, you know, development, 5 and 7 they are now. So I was able to spend time with my 2 girls and forge their characters and make them mad as actors, to be honest. You know? Because we did things that I couldn't have done before. And it was a risk. Well, it wasn't money. It was time I needed. For me, time is far more important than the money. Because money is a medium, it's a vehicle. We all need it, don't get me wrong, but time, you can't get that back. And for me, those kids, that's my...
I love that. And actually, you answered one of those, but it's perfect because I could see that we got a kind of time flag.
Sorry,
so I'm
yes.
going to flip to Simba, actually. It's a similar question. And you can decide which direction you want to take it, where you think the audience would learn more. So a risk that you've taken that either went really well or went not so well, but you learned from. Feel free.
Well, the most recent risk was my wife and I were in the hospital. She's just given birth to our son, and we decided we're going to open up our Manchester branch. Literally, so we've got a 6-month-old baby, and the branch is about to be open as well. So there's a lot going on, and that was a big risk. One, I'm putting my family on the line, putting my business on the line as well, and it paid off. But it only paid off because me and my wife, we were a team, we were one, you understand? And you're only as good as the team that you have around you. I'm not just talking about your employees, but your family, your spouse, your loved ones, right? So you need to make sure that you're creating a good and solid team. My business would not be here if I didn't have the backing of my wife. I'll tell you that now, do you understand? Like, it wouldn't be there. So for you guys, it's making sure that you guys have that in place. And I'm so grateful that I had that in place. I'm so grateful that me and my wife can communicate and be together as one and going along this journey, right? Because it can be a lonely journey. Entrepreneurship will find in your career, it can be very, very lonely. So make sure you're bringing your family on board where you can. Make sure you're bringing your spouse on board where you can. Because I'm telling you now, it will open doors. It will make things a lot easier for you guys. Because entrepreneurship, anything in life, for us, it's challenging. Very, very difficult. You're gonna have ups and downs. Cash flow might be a problem. Staffing might be a problem. But if you've got no other team behind you, how are you gonna manage? You're not. You're gonna lose your hair.
Agreed. Yeah, exactly. You want to keep it.
You want to keep it.
So
Yeah, sorry,
very quickly, we want to now open up to your questions, audience. Do you have any questions for the panel, me? We're here. What would you like to ask?
We've got a couple questions that have come through. Again, guys, please just help by upvoting questions. We've only got a few minutes. But one of the questions here is, what's your advice for someone that's currently in the corporate world and wants to transition into entrepreneurship, which I think all of you can probably answer.
I could take it.
Very succinct.
Yeah, corporate world, very important. Absorb, network, learn, choose your timing very well, and always plan ahead with that. I would advise plan ahead. Don't just jump ship. Find your niche. If it fails, find another niche. But corporate world is a good place to learn. It doesn't mean you stay there forever, but learn, absorb, research.
Absolutely. And as somebody who's navigated the corporate world and is still in there and pivoted from banking into tech, learning is the most critical thing. Where we are right now, there's brand new information. I'm going to be moving into a whole new tech space. We're hearing about generative AI, etc. These are brand new terms. We have to keep learning. What you knew 20 years ago, 10 years ago, is not going to help you be the top of where you need to be today. So it's like going back to school, and don't feel bad about that. It's a great thing. Next question, please.
Oh, there we go. For Dr. True, how do you prioritize your 2 roles as CEOs and other endeavors and your fitness goals?
Oh, good question. So I am very, very organised, number one. I use a project management tool called Trello, and it literally time blocks everything out for me, so I know exactly where I need to be. I have an amazing PA, shout out to Chloe, who organises my diary and just keeps everything up to date. And it's all about being organised and blocking out time also for yourself. It's important that you are kind to yourself. And I have time for the family, so I make sure that I am available for all the school runs, apart from today, because I'm here. But I do, 99.9% of the school runs to ensure that at some point I spend an hour, 2 hours with the kids a day. I block out Saturdays and Sundays for my family, for my children. I've got 4 kids and a grandchild. I can see you're scratching your head, but it's true. And I try my best to time block everything, so I know exactly what days for what. And I have an amazing team as well. The team's amazing, and I have an incredible operations manager that looks over pretty much all of the businesses as well, which is great.
Fantastic. Do we have any more questions?
Yes. One more. How do you define relationships and tips on building effective relationships?
Okay,
I
yes,
can take
please,
that one.
Simba.
I think it's networking, it's communication. That's the most important thing to define those good, strong relationships, if that makes sense. Take of it what you will, if that makes sense, in terms of obviously using your network, what you want from them, what you want to give them as well. But I think it starts with communication. That opens doors to every single thing. It's like, I think somebody said earlier when I was listening to a talk, it's like when you're sending an email in your organization, if it's a large organization, if they don't know you, they'll put you to the bottom of the list, right? But if you communicate, if you put yourself out there, if you make yourself presentable, you know what I mean? It will take you a lot further in terms of building those relationships. So communication.
Offer value as well. I think that's so important. Always offer value when you're trying to build relationships.
Assets, yeah.
Love that. Do we have any more questions?
We do have a lot more, but we haven't got time. So I will leave you with a comment that someone's left that's got a lot of votes, which just says, thank you, panel members, for your vulnerability and your stories. It's great to see Black men doing this.
Well done. Thank you.